ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to a special episode of the M&K Productions podcast. I'm your host with the most, Mac from Mac Movie Reviews. Joining here by my co-host, as usual, Christian, aka Miss Flamingo. Christian, what are we doing on this episode? This is your kooky idea. Tell the audience at home what we're doing.
We're doing something special today. We're doing no news, no movie reviews. We're just going to do something different, and that is a fall movie guide. We're going to go over all the movie releases that are set to be released the rest of the year. We are already at the end of the year, surprisingly. We're about to hit spoopy season. You ready for that, Mac?
Yeah.
Spoopy season. But today we have some guests join today. Not one, but two Davids. We have first a reoccurring guest on our show, Flixtalk, David.
Hey, what's going on, guys? Thank you for having me once again. And talking about Halloween coming up, fall is my favorite time of year because if you guys don't know, I live in California. We don't have seasons. It's warm all year round. So Halloween is the only time that people really Christmas, but I mean, unless you have the rest of the environment around you, snowing, gets cold or ice or anything like that, which we don't get. Halloween is kind of the only feels that we get for a season. So I'm really excited for this episode.
Yeah. So are you a pumpkin spice person, I must ask, since we are in this fall season transition now?
I am a big coffee drinker, but I kind of fell out of love with pumpkin spice because I just got enamored with it just over the years. But you know what I've been getting big on is I think it's maple. Like a maple.
Maple's coming in.
Yeah, so good. I actually prefer that a little over the pumpkin spice, but I haven't had too much this season so far to kind of make a decision. But yeah, I'm a huge coffee drinker.
I was tempted yesterday. I was out shopping, and I don't know if anybody has been to the Christmas tree shop or has ever heard of it. But basically, it's like part of Christmas 24/7 in this one section of the store, and then the other half is just like, reoccurring season transition. So it's like dollar store meets TJ Maxx.
That sounds perfect for my wallet right now.
Oh yeah, and yesterday I picked up a mixture and it was a maple oat scone mix. I was so tempted to get it, and I put it back because I was like, oh, I just can't. I gotta save the money.
We have a couple of stores out here that we just came back from one called Home Goods. Do you guys have that?
Oh yeah, we have Home Goods.
It's kind of like that where they sell like furniture, but they also sell like decorations and just home appliance, like stuff for your bathroom and whatnot, and also coffee, just like randomly like coffee and different little things like that. It's wild.
Yeah, there's like a Mickey Mouse one I've been seeing pop up around. It's like a pumpkin spice Mickey Mouse flavor over there.
Oh wow, I wonder if that's any good.
I don't know. There's another girl I follow who has a really cool account. Her name is Glam and Geek, or I forgot. I think that's how you say her name. Her name's Hannah though, but really cool page. She does cosplay, some stuff, but Disney bounding and stuff. So she's been braving about it, and I'm tempted to get it. But we are happy to have you on Flixtalk, David. Now we're going to talk to the other David, aka David Joshua Taylor, who has an amazing movie account. So please welcome the Ultimate Movie Account.
Hey, thank you for having me. This is my first time.
We are so happy to have you on. I'm really excited because, first of all, I wanted to see about how your time was at TIFF, because I believe you went to TIFF, right?
I didn't physically go, unfortunately. I went through TIFF virtually, screenings and obviously. But it was great. I got to take full advantage as much as I could. There was some movies I haven't seen yet that I really wanted to. But if we're going to be talking some of these films during the podcast, I've seen some of them, so hopefully I could, sprinkle in some of my insight if people care.
How many films did you get to see at the festival, virtually?
I want to say about 10 or a little bit over 10. So
Wow. So it was like basically the festival was taking place between last week and this week. So were you watching films over the last week and a half? Like, what day were you the busiest and realized, okay, maybe I packed down way too much?
Last week this week is not, so I think they're either doing like they're showing stuff again, or it's like the second time they're showing the movies, or it's just either films that are not that I guess I'm not interested in. But last week definitely they showed all the premieres and everything. So.
Okay, but I know we're probably going to talk about Dune, so we'll save that.
Yeah.
But what is the probably the best film that you saw there that isn't getting released just yet?
I think they're all pretty much, they have a release date, but I guess just my favorite film would be Petite Maman, which is I'm gonna butcher the name, but Celine Sciamma. She directed Portrait of a Lady on Fire.
Oh, okay.
It's her new film, and it's a wonderful little film, and I loved it.
Okay, that's awesome. I'm excited to talk about that then. But otherwise, Mac, you ready?
Yep, let's get to what's coming out for the rest of the year and give our thoughts on it. I'm ready.
Alrighties, guys. Let's kick off this fall movie guide with going over the first week in October. So October 1st, there's quite a few movies coming out that weekend. So we have Venom, Let There Be Carnage, The Many Saints of Newark, The Addams Family 2, and Bingo Hell, Black as Night, Old Henry, The Jesus Music, and Mayday. Those are just some of the films that are going to be released October 1st. Recently, the release date of Venom was changed. How do you guys feel about the Venom release being released the first week in October, and are you guys going to see it?
Yeah.
Yes.
Definitely seeing that one. I'm actually really excited that they pushed it up because out here it's still kind of iffy. Things are closing or they're getting capped, So I think theaters are just feeling the pressure, and production studios are really feeling the pressure of what could possibly happen in the next month or so with these releases in theaters only. And I think they also, with the Venom in particular, I think they did see the power of what Shang-Chi did, and people were telling me, they want to push it out because they think it's going to make as much money as Shang-Chi did. I don't think that's going to be the case. But they're two completely different movies for me. But I think that pushing this a week ahead, as well as finally getting out 007 that we're going to get in the following week, is great, because I know it's not going to make as much money as they want. What is it, $1 billion for 007? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
But I think pushing them out, because we don't know what's going to happen in the next couple months. More stuff could shut down, or we could start opening up completely. I don't know how it's going in your guys' neck of the woods, but in mine, it's kind of getting a little worse.
Oh, dang. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, just because of variants and stuff like that. So it's not even like the initial COVID. It's just like other variants. So it's like, okay, another reason to just close more things. So that kind of has me worried for future projects. But I'm looking forward to Venom 2, even though a lot of people weren't really a fan of the first one.
Okay, now, David Joshua, I'm going to call you that. Is that okay for the remainder of that?
No, that's fine.
What makes you excited to see Venom 2? And how is your area doing with COVID? So, are a lot of theaters open by you?
Other David, I live in California. I don't know if.
Okay, so wow.
I'm in Southern California.
Yeah, I'm in Northern, so I'm in the Bay Area. Every movie theaters, for the most part, they're open, and it looks like they're going to stay open, hopefully. I'm excited for Venom 2. I'm a huge fan of the first one. I know a lot of people aren't, but I just had a lot of fun with it. And it's just Tom Hardy going crazy, and then we got Woody Harrelson too going crazy. So why not? And then Andy Serkis. I'm still skeptical, but I do have a lot of faith in him as a director, even though I still haven't seen a lot of the stuff he's directed. I know he did the Jungle Book Netflix one. Film. Yeah. Mowgli, yeah. But yeah, no, it looks like a lot of fun. I think it's smart that they moved it up early. It shows they have a lot of confidence, and obviously, at least they're trying to, stay away from the No Time to Die release, because I think it's a week, right? They were going to be released on the same day. So, I'm excited.
Yeah, from what I remember, it was going to be released October 15th. So that was actually going to be competing with a lot of movies that we're going to be talking about later on. But I'm excited to see Andy Serkis direct. I've seen Andy Serkis direct a couple different features now. going back to Breathe and Mowgli and stuff. So I'm really excited for that. I thought it was a really smart idea to bring him on as a director. I think this is going to show off a lot of skills that we may not see from him before as a director. I have a lot of faith in this film. I'm surprised I'm saying that now. A lot of faith now that we're bringing into it now. But I'm sure this is going to be a blast of the movies. Like, I've been looking forward to all year, especially with the superhero films we've seen. So, Mac, your Venom.
I'm with Venom. Let there be kind. Listen, I like David Joshua said, like he liked the first one, and you know, the first one was okay because it was. I think it was a waste of potential because there's a lot more they could have done. Make it rated R. That's all I say. And I was like, okay, you bring in Andy Serkis. Great. I love him. He's like maybe one of the most underrated actors of all time.
Yeah.
Bring in a character that's known in the comics for being more violent than Venom and who literally the host of a serial killer. So you're thinking slam dunk, make it rated R, perfect. No, it's PG-13. And I was like I was like kind of excited for it, but when they said PG-13, I was just like, my excitement is just way, way down. They're like, we're pushing the PG-13 to its limits. I'm like, then why didn't you make it rated R? It's going to push it. It just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. I'm excited to see Tom Hardy again because I think he is a cool Venom. Hopefully they can incorporate him into, like, the MCU, but I don't know. It's just, that's not really the movie I'm looking forward to. I'd probably more to, like, the many sorts of new work.
Oh, really? You're excited for that one? Have you watched The Sopranos?
I've been on the Sopranos kick recently because I've been watching that along with The Wire and everything.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I watched the trailer for the main like, it actually looks cool. And I'm like, I love anything with crime related to it. And I don't know, it was just really, it just looks interesting. It looks kind of like an intriguing film that I would want to go see, like in theaters, not even on HBO Max.
I feel like a lot of people are gonna I feel like I want to watch the movie first and then watch the entire series, like see the starting aspect of Tony Soprano first. I mean, have you guys watched The Sopranos?
I haven't, no.
No? Okay.
I haven't either. Now, I was asking someone else too. About a week ago, I was like, with the new movie coming out, do you guys recommend that I watch the movie first and then, check out the series? And they were like, yeah, I think you should do it that way because I guess they're going to be talking about a lot of backstories that maybe they do touch on in the actual show.
Good point.
But I just, I'm like Mac. I like a lot of crime stuff too, but I just kind of, mine's more in a movie realm. Like I don't really get like into True Detective or like, I did see the first season of The Wire. I really liked it. I started watching the second season. It was completely different. I didn't kind of fell off of it a little bit, but I gravitate more towards the movies. So maybe I might check out the movie first, then jump into a show if I can.
Alrighty, so then we have the next week, October 8th. Mac, you want to kick off saying some of those movies that are going to be released that week?
Oh, yeah, sure. So on my list here, it has No Time to Die, the new James Bond movie, Lamb, Mask, South Heaven, Survive the Game, and the new Pokemon movie, which is its 20th movie, Pokemon the Movie, Secrets of the Jungle.
Oh, wow.
We also have two Amazon Blumhouse movies being released, The Manor and Madres. So I think we all know we're all going to be looking at Madres as the movie that everybody's going to go see that weekend.
Definitely, yes.
Definitely. Forget James Bond.
Yeah, Pokemon's going to kill everything that weekend.
Yeah, Pokemon's going to kill everything. We don't need to worry about Bond.
But it's it's interesting because what David said earlier about James Bond needed to make about like $1 billion to make its budget back because it's been pushed back, if I recall, like 3 times already in like a year.
I feel like it's been like 2 years. It's been like pushed around for because
it was supposed to come out. It was May of 2020, and it got pushed to November, and then it got pushed. I think they were going to release it this summer, and then they pushed it back to the fall of this. So it really this is a Hail Mary. It's not like who's the studio that makes James Bond?
MGM.
It's not like MGM is like losing money, but if this movie doesn't rake in dough at the box office, it could like have them looking a little bit in the red for the fourth quarter for them because this is very from the trailers, this looks like a very ambitious James Bond movie, and of course it's Daniel Craig's last one. So I think this is a movie that we're gonna have to keep an eye on in the coming weeks.
Do you think this is going to make or break the box office for the rest of the year? That's what I want to ask you all.
No, I personally think that's going to go to Spider-Man: No Way Home. But that's just my personal opinion. Jumping to the end of the year. I know it's right at the end, but I think that's probably the biggest one that we have coming out. I mean, there's a lot of titles coming out, but I think I can only imagine like the board meeting for 007. Like they're probably just like, hey guys, we're gonna have to take an L on this one. Like this is just kind of what it is. Let's just put it out and let's just kind of get back to the drawing board with where we want to have 007 in the future, whether that's a female, whether that's a person of color, whatever direction they want to take it in. I'm totally fine because I think these Bond movies keep getting better, just like the Mission Impossible movies. That's just my personal opinion. It's just an unfortunate time that we all got kind of thrown, or that everybody, and including the movie industry, got thrown into during a pandemic. That you have to shift so many things around, and yeah, it's a business. And that's going back to what Max said of why do they have to make it PG-13? Is because they want Venom to have as many little kids in there with their parents as possible, buying all the popcorn, buying all the merchandise and everything,
buying all those Funkos.
Yeah, exactly. Like even me, that'll be me, my old ass buying them, but. That's kind of what it is, and it's gonna force them to push it out to streamer and to physical media just that much quicker to recoup all that money for 007.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
That's true. Yeah.
Now, to follow up with that question, you mentioned how all the Bond films keep getting better and better. I thought Spectre was one of the weaker Bonder films.
Yeah.
Do you guys makes that even more excited to see it, or a little bit let down? Because in terms of how the story is going to go, because the last film was said to be like Daniel Craig's last film, but it wasn't, and many people were disappointed, like myself.
I don't know. I'm very excited. I think I enjoyed Spectre more than most. I really liked that it kind of brought back some of the old-fashioned tropes of the older Bond films, but I guess it is a weird mix of tones and everything, and but we do have a new director coming on to this one. I'm going to butcher the last name, but Cary Fukunaga. Oh, and I guess cinematographer. I believe he did True Detective Season 1. He directed that. And then he did Beast of No Nation, which is a great film. So a new vision. And this, as Max said, it looks very ambitious. It looks like a different Bond film. And it's Craig's last venture. It's got Ana de Armas, my future wife. It's going to be exciting. It's going to be great.
I like the fact that, like what you just mentioned, it's got Cary Fukunaga in it. And if you haven't seen his series Manic with Emma Stone and Jonah Hill, it's a different kind of series. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I enjoyed it. I recommend people to check that out. But
I didn't even know this is the same director from Sin Nombre. I had to look him up. He's a young guy, and he's from Oakland too, Northern Cali.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
He's a really cool director. I recommend anybody to go check out any of his work. But yeah, all right. So let's move on to a really big weekend, October 15th. We got Halloween Kills, The Last Duel, Hard Luck Love Song, introducing Selma Blair. I'm gonna just bring it off again. What are you guys excited for? Because this is the weekend that Venom was supposed to be released. So it was competing with a lot of stuff like David Gordon Green and Ridley Scott. That's hard to compete with Venom. And then if it was going for that R-rated rating, it was not going to make back any of its money just from talking from that conversation. So I'm excited for two films that weekend, Halloween Kills and The Last Duel. I'm a sucker for any Ridley Scott film, but then I'm also really hyped for that Halloween Kills. And now it was released at some film festivals, and it's getting some mixed reviews. So I'm
not surprised
about seeing the sequel. And it's also going to be released on Peacock.
Yeah.
So will you be seeing it on Peacock, or are you going to just pay that movie ticket?
I'll go first. Sorry, man.
That's okay.
I'm a huge Michael Myers fan. Slasher wise, I'm glad that they actually kept this thing going, even though none of these franchises are good. I think probably my favorite, most fun franchise, which is never talked amongst most people nowadays, is the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise, because they have so much fun with those movies. They know what they are. The Friday the 13th went just off the rails. They tried rebooting that. Even the reboot was okay, but we haven't touched that property in such a long time. Michael Myers has such the we've done rankings for that on my channel and other people's channels. Such a convoluted just timeline. And for some reason, this thing still has legs. I don't know. People still want to keep seeing this figure, the shape, you know? Yeah, and I'm fine with that. I'm fine as long as they can keep the, something that I grew up on alive. Let's get some good directors. Let's get some good actors behind it. If you want to keep the original cast, one of the original cast members, that's fine. So be it. Just let's try to make it to the original source material as possible. So on that note, I will be catching that just because I'm a super fan in theaters. The fact that it's coming out on Peacock, I know because it's owned by Universal, that's the worst way to put that out, but I know they have to because of that. Because I do not see people just saying, "Oh, I'm going to get a Peacock subscription just to watch Halloween Kills." That in The Office, right? I mean,
yeah. But here's the thing. I've been talking to people already, and people are starting to cancel their Peacock subscription. So
it's having a reverse effect.
I think it was like at least 3 people, and I was like, and out of all those 3 people who I knew were paying for a Peacock subscription, I'm surprised. So
well,
they're canceling it already.
The only big sellers with the Peacock would be Halloween Kills, The Office, and WWE moved their network to Peacock in America. But they've been having issues with the players. That's why a lot of people just cancel it just to screw it. So Peacock isn't really, it's like up and down. Because I hear people say, it's good, I hate it. Or they don't even have it. And they don't even know it exists.
How do you feel, David, Joshua? Are you going to see it on Peacock, or are you just going to catch it in theaters?
I don't know. I still haven't seen the one previous, for personal reasons. But I do plan to see it for my October challenge, whatever. So maybe I'll catch Halloween Kills if I'm motivated enough. But I'm mostly excited for The Last Duel.
Me too.
It looks amazing. It's got Adam Driver. It's more exposure to Jodie Comer, who I think I first seen her in just Free Guy. I know she's been in other things, but I absolutely fell in love with her. So and it's Ridley Scott, and this is one of 2 movies he has this year. So he's a very busy man.
Yeah, it's going to be an epic film, I feel like, between anything that Adam Driver just touches, like he just puts his toe in the water, it's just magic. Whatever he does, he's just so talented, and I'm excited because this is something I know I'm going to drag my boyfriend to because he's into that like medieval times, all that gung-ho stuff. He's like very into it, and I'm just excited because he also likes Adam Driver, so I'm like, good, this is a good date night for us.
There you go.
It gets us out of the house good.
I wanted to add real quick too, that was the same effect that we got too when my girlfriend and I watched the trailer for The Last Duel. We're like, this looks like it's going to have some great performances, but unfortunately I read a lot of the reviews, and I don't want that to sway me. But I am seeing a lot of the negative stuff, but I'm hoping that leaves my mind in the next couple of weeks and I could just go see it. But I'm definitely going to want to watch that in theaters as well.
Yeah, because it was also played, I think, at Venice, and that's where it was showing a lot of reviews where they were started popping up early, and I'm just like, you know what, maybe I'll just ignore the reviews and just go enjoy it for what it is.
I think so, yeah.
All right, Mac.
I didn't get to talk about Halloween Kills real quick.
Oh, talk.
So I am gonna see it in theaters because I don't have Peacock, but I have noticed a lot of people saying they didn't really like the 2018 one because they thought it was just too much of a rehash of the original. And I can kind of see what they said, but I like that one. And even with the sequel, they said that the trailer doesn't look interesting and grabs people's attention. And I can get that, but it's still kind of interesting because the 2018 one kind of refreshed new air to it because, like I said, the last one Halloween we had was the Rob Zombie one. So I'm gonna see it. And speaking of long dead franchises, shout out to Texas Chainsaw coming back later this year. And,
man, I don't
gonna get a comeback.
They keep trying to come back with that franchise, and I don't know.
I keep telling. We were talking about this. Was it 2 weeks ago or last week? We were talking about it being released on Netflix, and I have a feeling it's going to be released at the end of October. They're just going to surprise everyone what they did with that Cloverfield movie, and just say, "Surprise! Here's a new Texas Chainsaw story."
I don't know. That's another one. I hope it has some legs, but I don't know if you guys have followed like some of the ones like either the sequels to the original, or the ones that came out like there was a Leatherface. There was a movie called Leatherface. I believe it was a prequel with is it Brad Dourif? I believe it was
Stephen Dorff. Yeah.
Stephen Dorff. I'm sorry. And like I don't know. It's just one of those things. Like you have to really like this franchise, and it's going to be it is cool that it's going directly to streamers, so I know they're not going to lose that much money putting it out in theaters. But I kind of want to see if there's a fandom for something like this because they said it is going to be a direct sequel. The only thing I want to ask you guys is, do you know if it's going to take place in modern times? If it is, he's going to be in his 70s, or I think, in his 70s. But it just says it's a direct sequel off the original. So it could be 10 years from the original, which was in the 1970s, right? In the 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. 70s, yeah.
So it could take place technically in the 80s if they wanted to. It doesn't have to be in modern day, but that's how I would like to see it maybe done in the 80s, because 70-year-old Leatherface trying to wield the chainsaw is going to be too much.
Just walking around with him and like a
walker.
A walker. Thank you.
They did try that with
a walker or a cane in the other. That would be actually something really funny.
They did try the direct sequel in 2013 with the 3D one with Alexandra Daddario, when they tried to say it takes place after the 70s movie. But like the way the timeline was like Alexandra Daddario was supposed to be a baby in 1974, but it cut all the way to 2013. I was like, you should be in your 40s, but she looks like she's in her 20s. So it's like they never said what time period it was, but you can obviously tell. It's just like current day 20, because there were smartphones and everything. I'm like, I don't know anymore.
All right, Mac.
So what week are we on?
We are going on to October 22nd. Another big weekend.
All right, so October 22nd, some of the films we got. We have Dune, the Denis Villeneuve movie that everyone's excited for. We got The French Dispatch, Ron's Gone Wrong, and Warning.
What is Warning? That's what I was wondering about.
It looks like I can... what's wrong? Warning looks like a horror movie. Is it a horror movie?
I don't know.
Sci-fi thriller, it says. It's got Alice Eve, Annabelle Wallace.
Oh, Annabelle Wallace. Okay. I just watched her in Malignant. Wasn't too crazy about that.
Oh man, we have.
It says the meaning of life explored through multiple interconnected lives set in the new future. So it sounds like Cloud Atlas 2.0.
I just saw the trailer for that. That looks really because it's got Patrick Schwarzenegger and a whole bunch of other stories. So it looks like it's going to be like one of those anthology stories. It looks like, but the world is ending. It looks like, but I don't know.
Hey, Kristen, can I ask you real quick? I know we're on to the next week, but the week before you said there was a Selma Blair documentary coming out.
Yeah.
Is that going to be direct, in theaters only, like limited? Theaters only thing, or
I think they are going to release that in theaters, and then it's going to be on Discovery Plus the 15th.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm going to look forward to that because I didn't even know that was a thing, and I really want to hear her story and what happened to her and stuff. And
I'm sure Sarah Michelle Gellar is going to show up at some point during that doc, since the two of them are such good friends. So
some Cruel Intention reunion, huh?
Yes. So it was so I'm gonna watch it. My mom's actually interested in that because of her story. But anyways, going back to October 22nd, Dune has opened.
We all know Dune's winning that weekend.
Everywhere else around the world, slowly and surely. Yeah. Did you get to see Dune?
No. It was only in person.
Okay, because I was seeing around some people got to go in person to see it.
Yeah.
And I was surprised between what people have been saying at Venice and at TIFF. I feel like half the audience has been split between what has been going on. But I'm pumped for this, just like anybody else, because I'm a sucker for Denis Villeneuve. I worship that director like anything else. He's like Jesus to me. Anything, like I said about Act Driver.
Right.
Are we going to talk about his Marvel comments?
Yeah, I was going to say, yeah. Because I just had to throw that in there. Say,
Marvel comments. You know he's...
What did he say about Marvel again? He's like, they're just the same. the same recycled movies.
Yeah, I honestly didn't think it was that bad, and I'm a huge Marvel fan. He just said it was a copy and paste formula, which to a degree I agree with that. I mean, they kind of know what gets butts and seats, right? And the comics. I mean, if you're basing on the comic, a lot of the comic material, a lot of that kind of it's very similar in the structure. I mean, yeah, we've had Shang-Chi where it's like not a love interest, but it's like a best friend type of thing. And then you have Black Widow where she don't need no man, right? She's just like kicking ass on her own, right? So you have some variations of this thing, but for the most part, it follows a lot of different tropes and different cliches that superhero movies follow. But I'm fine with I'm fine with that because I think the majority of people going in to watch the Marvel movies, they know what to expect. They're not trying to watch like a Good Will Hunting or like a Schindler's List or like a, you know what I'm saying? Like a real thought provoking movie. So I think the fact that he said it, as opposed to like any other director, maybe that's someone that's like very fresh or green or doesn't have that many, big hits under his name, it's totally fine. I mean, if it was anybody else, people could just be like, oh, they're just hating on Marvel, right? But the fact that he said it, a prestige director, I take that in a little more and I start to understand it a little more because he doesn't need to say that. And he was asked that question. He didn't just randomly just throw it out there. Yeah.
I think they brought it up because just given how critical and acclaimed his films have been, it just brings up the idea of the Martin Scorsese when he talked about that.
Yeah.
About a year or 2 years ago.
Yeah.
So, but otherwise, going back to that weekend, it's competing with Wes Anderson as well, another profound director and critically acclaimed. So, my thought is, I don't know if The French Dispatch is actually going to be released nationwide that weekend or in select theaters. So that's going to play a big role in that. Because I know when... And that's got a good weekend for Tim. Regardless, whatever movie comes out on top, we know it will be Dune.
Yeah.
He's making big bucks. And I saw your David Joshua. I saw your Timothée Chalamet video dancing around at the Met Gala. So, what are you gonna see first that weekend?
Well, I think it's gonna be the worst day in history because it's Timothée Chalamet. He's got 2 movies on that day. So it's like early sign the world's ending.
Honestly.
I don't hate Timothy that much. But obviously, I think I'm gonna see Dune first. It just looks. I don't know if any of you went to the sneak peek that they did, that IMAX thing that they did.
No, I saw some people did, but I couldn't go. I was bummed. But did you go?
Yes. And you saw about 20 minutes of the movie. You saw a couple scenes, and the scope is it's amazing. It's out of this world, literally, and you have to see it on the biggest screen.
So you're one of those people campaigning, skip the HBO Max.
Oh, yeah. Especially, like I know it's kind of there's that debate, but I'm always gonna cheer on for the cinematic experience. So, and then obviously French Dispatch, I'm excited. I'm a huge Wes Anderson fan. It's got a great cast. I'm just a little skeptical because it does feel different based on the trailers from his usual. It feels very mature, and I know he has a lot of mature themes in his films, but this feels more because he got inspired by The New Yorker, and that's a very mature magazine. So
it was a inspiration and dedication to journalists. So that's when I knew, because this was going to be like a project he was discussing after he released Isle of the Dogs. Like, we knew right away this was going to be his next project. So, do you have a favorite Wes Anderson project that he's done?
I think I have like a 3-way tie. It's Grand Budapest, Life Aquatic, and Fantastic Mr. Fox.
See, I'm not the biggest Fantastic Mr. Fox, but I love Grand Budapest Hotel. What about you?
Oh, yeah.
What about you guys? Or Mac, you're not a Wes Anderson fan, or nah?
Go for it, Mac, before I get my thoughts.
I like Wes Anderson. I like Fantastic. I like his animated movies more because I'm an animation nerd. So I like Fantastic Mr. Fox and Isle of Dogs. I think I like Fantastic Mr. Fox more because that's surprising. Because when I thought it was just gonna be a ripoff of Wallace and Gromit. Don't ask me. I was like 9 years old. I didn't think about it. So, but it was good. I like that. So I would hope after this one he goes into the realm of animation one more time to do a story. I think that would be nice. So Fantastic Mr. Fox is my favorite.
Okay, so before I talk about Dune, I was going to say that I probably lost half my subscribers here, and some subscribers, probably future subscribers that would have clicked on my page because of you guys, but now lost them. I've never seen a Wes Anderson film in my life.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
and ironically, I do hit up a lot of thrift stores. Ironically, I picked up his first film yesterday, which you can't see it here.
There you go.
Probably, if you're listening.
Bottle
It's Bottle Rocket with the which I was told that is his directorial debut, as well as the acting debut of the Wilson brothers, Owen Wilson and Luke Wilson. So I had to look this one up because I had no clue what this was, and I was like, what better way to get introduced to his cinema by checking out the first one. So I think I'm gonna do a first time watch for this one.
I was just going to
there you
suggest
go.
that.
Yeah,
You do all those all the time, and I, like myself, I love watching your first watches. They're
thank
really
you.
enjoyable. So
Thank you,
this
thank
is
you.
probably a good one to do.
I'm going over his resume, and there's so many, and I'm like, oh, there's like 20 titles here. I gotta get introduced to the first one. But I did see the trailer, as the other David was saying, and yeah, it felt interesting because I have seen the trailers for some of the other movies. I just never followed through and actually watched the movies. But it did look interesting. I love the cast involved. And going to Dune, I don't know how I feel about it. The world building looks amazing. I never saw the original Dune, but people were telling me, don't even worry about that original Dune. That's the David Lynch one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So people were telling me, don't even worry about that one. I'm probably going to do a first time for that one too, even though I know they're not really tied in. But because the new one's coming out soon. But I love the cast involved as well. Hopefully it gets me on board with loving Jason Momoa, because I think I talked about it before. I'm not a fan of that guy. Just as an actor. Just as an actor. And I know people are like, but what about Game of Thrones? But it's like, I don't watch Game of Thrones. So that's why, to me, all I know him from is Aquaman and some of the VOD stuff that he did, like on streamer or whatever. But hopefully I like him. I just, there's a lot. Sometimes you can get the Avengers effect where you get so many characters to focus in on, you don't know if there's going to be an even balance to love everybody, right? Or if they're going to focus in just enough. So I hope I trust this director a lot, and I have seen some of his past works. And comments aside from the Marvel thing, this is a movie I'm definitely going to check out in theaters.
Same. I'm not seeing this on HBO Max. I'm sorry. I can't. I was really campaigning, hoping that they Warner Brothers was like, all right, fine, we'll do it away with that. But I think it's sad to see it on there, because I feel like 90% of the audience who isn't not seeing it, worldwide, because I know Flixtalk, you were posting about, it being like #1 over like in international markets, correct?
Yeah, just recently, yeah.
So they don't have it, I don't believe, on like streaming platforms just yet. So here it's probably not going to do as strong. But I'm seeing it that weekend. I didn't read the book. My boyfriend did. He really liked it, and I'm anxious to see it. But then we got to move on to October 29th, because we have Edgar Wright with Last Night in Soho, Antlers, Army of Thieves, and out of all things, Paranormal Activity Next to Kin. That's going to be released on Paramount Plus. I'm not...
Hey, is that
Army
of Thieves a sequel to Army of the Dead?
I
remember you said you wanted to...
I believe it's a prequel, because that's going to be showing.
One of the characters, and it's one of the characters.
That was quick.
So
that was quick. Army of the Dead came out freaking like back in May. So, dang, I didn't realize it was coming out that early.
Zack Snyder knew what he was making. He knew this would make sense.
That is true.
So, what do you guys feel about that weekend?
Well, I think Dune is going to stay strong for its second weekend, maybe Last Night in Soho, but we'll give it some competition. But obviously, for that weekend, I think I can speak for all of us and say we're all excited for Last Night in Soho. Maybe I can speak for all of us, but huge Edgar Wright fan. I wasn't a huge fan of Baby Driver, but this looks like...
You're killing me.
I know. But it's got Thomasine McKenzie and Anya Taylor-Joy, who are great upcoming young actresses, and this looks like, I guess, the role of the year for them. I still haven't seen Queen's Gambit, but
watch that.
It just looks like a great kind of retro style horror film from Edgar Wright.
Definitely. What about you guys? Have you guys seen any Edgar Wright Flixtalk, and Mac. I'm sure you have, though.
Oh yeah, I absolutely.
You know the answer.
Yeah.
I know.
Shaun of the Dead is one of my I pick that up in any special edition copy they have it in. If I double dip on that movie all the time. Yeah. So even if it's like a 3-movie collection, or what was it, like the Cornetto trilogy or something like that? Yeah. Anything.
Yeah.
Cornetto. Yeah. Steelbook. Anything I can get of Shaun of the Dead. It's one of my favorite dual genre horror comedy movies of all time. So seeing him dip into something more serious, more dramatic, like a horror type that we're getting based on the trailer, I had to watch that trailer like 3 times to kind of figure out what was going on, because people were like, you didn't catch the first, because also, if you guys know, I do reactions to trailers. The first time I totally didn't get what was happening, how this was coming to be. And of course the comment section goes crazy on you. So I had to watch this a couple of times to figure out kind of what they could be possibly alluding to, the direction they're going. But I said this, I think when I was not introduced to Anya Taylor-Joy during The Witch. Was that her first big breakout?
Yes.
Witch?
Yeah.
So I did not catch that one. And I caught her later in, was it Split, or did she have one before that?
It was Split. It was The Witch, and then it was Split.
Okay, so I did catch her in Split. Immediately, I knew she was going to be a star.
It was between those.
Yeah, I knew she was going to be a star. So when she started finally getting her big glow up, like the last couple of years, I was like, I knew this was going to happen, and rightfully so, that she gets aligned with the right directors and whatnot. Hopefully, she just doesn't start picking bad roles. She's being very, very selective. Same thing with the other girl. What's her name? Thomasin McKenzie.
Thomasin McKenzie. Yeah.
Yeah, she's from Jojo Rabbit. Is that the same actress? Yeah. She blew me away in that as well. I think this is a perfect cast, and I don't really know the gentleman involved, but I've seen him.
Matt Smith.
Matt Smith. He's from I think Doctor Who.
Yeah.
And he was also in the The Crown in the first early seasons.
Okay, so I haven't seen either of those, but I've definitely seen his face. But the cast looks great. The subject material that I think we're going to be getting looks cool. I like the horror element twist on it, and the director, of course, has me very, very intrigued to check this one out. I'm definitely going to watch that one. Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I think it's kind of unique because it brings him back to like what you were kind of just bringing up with the Shaun of the Dead roots, where it goes into horror. But this just looks like a straight up drama horror.
Yeah, I don't know if there's going to be much comedy in that.
I don't see any comedy in it.
It'll probably be like dark humor.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm sure he'll add that in, but this is going to be straight up what I think he wanted to do for a really long time. If you ever follow him on Instagram, he loves posting a lot of like horror throwback stuff, like a lot of old school movies that I haven't seen or even heard of. So this is like also an homage to cinema, I think, too. You can see like there's a big Sean Connery poster in the trailer. Mm-hmm. I think it was like Thunderbell or something like that.
Thunderball,
yeah.
That, Thunderball. Thank you. So I think that's going to be a tribute to that. But Army of Thieves. Did you guys enjoy Army of the Dead first? Or I know you were on our show, Flixtalk, but yeah. David, Joshua, did you like Army of the Dead, or was it just throw away?
Yeah, it was all right. I don't know the actor or the character's name, I'm forgetting, but the German safe cracker guy.
Yeah, he's the one directing this one.
And I guess if you're gonna get me to watch an Army of the Dead spin-off series, you're going to make it about him. So that's the only reason why I would see it, but I don't think I'm going to see it just because Army of Dead, it was all right.
I don't think it's necessarily worthy of a sequel just yet. So I feel like I've just forgotten about Army of the Dead, even though it was just released back in May. I feel like I forgot I even watched it. But and then there's also Paranormal Activity, so I don't really want to talk about that one.
we could just
come on. The fans want to know. The fans want to know.
Yeah, don't skip that. No.
All right, Matt.
Talk about it.
All right, Matt. So rant. Do you want to rant or no?
All right. So Paranormal Activity. It is probably one of the most maligned series of all time, and I agree because the first 3, I think they're great. I love the first 3. Then 4, 5, then 6. Bad, especially the last one, the marked ones where they had like superpowers. It's like, okay, this is definitely Paranormal Activity. That was Ghost Dimension. Whoops, wrong one. 5 was the worst one because it was the marked one, and then 6 tried to wrap it all together. Now we're getting a new one, and people don't act like we weren't part of the Paranormal Activity craze. When we saw all the trailers coming out, like, what was that? It was like, it was a knock at the wall, and it's like, that's it was a fun time. And then everyone, you had a haunted house 1 and 2. Now look at the third one. It's got Paranormal Activity 7. And not only are we getting a new movie, we're getting a documentary with it on the making of it. Like, come on, this is 2007.
We're getting a documentary of Paranormal.
Yeah, they're releasing it on Paramount Plus 2. It's gonna be a documentary making behind the scenes of Paranormal Activity 7.
That I feel like should have been included on the Paranormal Activity like DVD or whatever that was released years ago. That shouldn't be coming out now.
But I'm morbidly excited because Paranormal Activity has been a dead franchise for no joke like 6 years now. 2015 was the last one that came out.
I think you might be one of the only 1,000 people who might be watching. And I'm sorry, I'm not going to watch it.
I think when the marketing always says the paranormal craze, they're always talking about the first one. That's like, like when the Saw movies came out, right? The Saw amazing craze. It was because the first one had such an impact on the world. You know what I mean? Like just like when back when oh god, what's the one before Paranormal? The one about the camcorder, Blair Witch. When that came out, I still remember walking into that theater. Everyone was talking about, was that real? Was that real? Because the marketing was so strong that it had you believing that these movies were real. And I think Paranormal still holds the record for like highest grossing for an independent movie like of all time, something like that.
Yeah, one of them, I think.
But them milking that franchise for all it's worth is just, I don't know. And do you know, Mac, if it's going to be like a tie-in to the other ones, or is it a reboot, or what are they doing with it?
They said it's a soft. They said it's a soft reboot, but it does connect to the franchise. Okay. I don't know, because it's like, it's weird because the first movie we followed the couple from the first movie and all that, like their story, and then it changed from the fourth one to the Ghost Dimension. It changed, but the Ghost Dimension tried to wrap it up, and they actually, I don't know if you guys care about spoilers for the Ghost Dimension. I can tell you real quick.
No, spoil away, man.
Yeah.
So at the end of the Ghost Dimension, we're entering like I call it the Ghost Zone because it's funnier like that. So they enter the Ghost Zone, and then remember how in the first movie the girlfriend went downstairs at the end and screamed, and the boyfriend came and ran down? They were trying to connect it from the people in the sixth movie were the ones in the house that scared the girl in the first movie. And then somehow when they were in the Ghost Zone, they let in a ghost that had possessed the girl and had the dude, that boyfriend in the first movie die. So they tried to wrap it all up in like this big conclusive thing. And it was just like, wow, that was terrible.
All right,
I don't know what they can do for this.
The premise is the film is described as a reboot of the film series and not a sequel to the Ghost Dimension, and it was directed by William Edbank, who did Underwater, the Kristen Stewart film, and The Signal. So I don't know about, I haven't seen those films, so I can't.
I actually liked. I think I was the only person that kind of dug Underwater. I saw it in theaters, and I know it was a January release. That's where movies go to die and stuff. But I thought it was anything that has to do with underwater, like creature features, is very fascinating to me. But there was a lot of aspects that I hated. But I know most people that just pure out hated that film.
I didn't even see it.
I watched it because it was a favorite for my grandma because she wanted to see it, and I was showing me the review, and I enjoyed it because it was like, I don't dislike Kristen Stewart as much as I did because I thought this movie was pretty interesting.
Yeah, I thought her acting was flat. Her acting's always kind of flat to me. That's why it's really surprising seeing her get such big roles continuously. Yeah. Because to me, she's a very, very flat actress, like as far as emotions go. So I don't.
Wow.
Yeah, they want. But I mean, that's just. I mean, I haven't seen Spencer and all this other stuff she's coming out in, but so.
Don't worry, she's gonna be Princess Diana in November.
That's what I'm saying.
Which brings us into our next week, Mac. Let's kick off November 5th.
November 5th, we have Spencer, the second MCU movie. Oh, the third actually. Just far. We have Eternals and Violet.
Okay.
For a second, I thought you were saying Spencer was his third MCU movie. I was like, what? That's why I laughed for a little bit.
Can I start off real quick?
Yeah, just go.
Yeah.
I'm all Angelina Jolie out again because I saw Those Who Wish Me Dead, and like they really are pushing this movie. Like we have an Oscar winner as a director. We got the Jolie head. We got Kit Harington. We got what's his name? The comedian.
Richard Madden.
I forgot his name. No, No, the comedian, not
Oh,
them.
Kamal
One million
Nanjiani.
Yeah. They're really putting everything in and be like, we're gonna, because I've heard that this movie will shape the phase, this current phase we're in, into more like mystical. And I think that this is interesting because I'm excited for Doctor Strange too, but I don't know. I'm not really. This looks so boring.
I think this is the one that is gonna make audiences question the MCU and the direction it would go in. But I think they were really, really set on like Chloe Zhao being like the one to market it off for, since she did win the Oscar recently. And, you know, I enjoyed Nomadland to a certain degree, but I'm surprised Chloe Zhao would be directing something like this. But, you know, it's bringing on the future to say like, hey, maybe could Denis Villeneuve direct a film like Marvel, but I doubt it. But, I don't know. I'm not as gung-ho as previous Marvel projects for this one. I mean, like, I'm enjoying, you know, all the, you know, TV stuff, but between What If it being okay and, you know, I really have dug Shang-Chi a lot. I really, really liked that film a lot. And this one, I don't know how I feel about this one. I don't think it's going to be as strong as Shang-Chi or Spider-Man, honestly. Yeah. What do you guys feel?
When I saw this first introduced, like when Kevin Feige was doing like the whole Phase 4 stuff, I was just like, this is for people that still can't get off that Avengers the Endgame train, right? So it's just kind of throwing all these new fresh faces. Either going back to what you said about Chloe Zhao, either I think you're if you don't like the cast necessarily involved, you might like the overall production because of her directing and you know, her style on this film, even though she is kind of new to American audiences for the most part. I think visually, that's kind of what's holding me together rather than the cast, from what I've been seeing from the trailer. Because, yeah, you're right. The cast, I mean, it's a little bit of everything. I mean, yeah, a couple of people we know, Salma Hayek, you know, veterans, Angelina Jolie and whatnot. But then you have a couple of younger cast, and you have a comedian in there, a couple comedians in there. It looks like, because isn't the other guy? There's also another comedian in there. I totally forgot the guy's name. He has glasses on.
Oh, Brian Tyree.
Brian Tyree Henry. Is he a comedian as well, or he does like more comedy stuff?
Yeah, I think he does a little bit of both. If you saw the newest Chucky film, he was in that. He was the cop.
Oh, he's the guy that always plays the cop. That's what it is. He always plays some kind of cop or something. But so maybe I take that back. So maybe it's just Kumail Nanjiani, which I love. You know, I do like him. I think we were all pretty much amazed by his like fitness glow up, like when they had him like posing on Men's Health magazine and whatnot, getting trained for this,
breaking the internet.
Yeah, it's just going to be one of those things where it's like, you see, are you going to be able to see through the comedy spectrum and take them serious? Like a Jonah Hill, right? I mean, everyone just thought he was going to be the funny fat guy, and he was able to branch off and do something different. Is that going to be, you know, applied to a movie like this, or is it just going to be too cluttered up? But I do like the overall story, especially since we're getting more and more trailers from this film. The latest trailer, I like that we got a little more detail about the Thanos snap. We got, you know, a reason why they didn't get involved. The whole Deviant thing has me a little. I don't read the comics at all. But the CGI on the Deviants don't look the greatest. I'll say that.
No, they don't.
It's almost like in a Venom realm. I'll be honest.
Oh no!
It looks pretty weaker how they look from previous stuff. It's kind of a letdown how they look. I'm like, okay, we've seen better. Like, you know.
Oh, for sure. And when you have bad CGI in a serious type of movie, to me, I don't know how it is with you guys. It kind of sucks me out a bit. So I'm hoping that it's a little better than kind of what we've been seeing. And the cast, you know, kind of surprises me. And it's not too much of the Marvel comedy in there because, you know, we got a couple of comedy moments in the trailer and whatnot. I hope it's a little more serious in tone is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, I think that's what most people go into for the Marvel films. I feel like a lot of times people forget we need to have the serious tone with it because I feel like most of the time everybody remembers the laughs in the Marvel films. I mean, that's why we have like comedic greats in those. Like, you know, we saw Chris Hemsworth, who's also really funny in the Marvel films, and then we also have, you know, Robert Downey Jr., who is also able to bring the laughs. So this is going to really play with the themes of it and the tones of it. So, and I'm just interested in seeing it, but not as excited as I feel like a majority of other audiences are and other Marvel fans.
I also think real quick, I wanted to add, I think it's too soon to have like a catastrophic movie like this, like as far as like the world ending again, so quick to Endgame. Like we've already been thrown in that situation. Like I know a lot of the Marvel movies follow that theme of the world coming to an end, but this one it seems like, okay, how can we beat Thanos? Let's just throw in another bigger villain in here. And it's like, well, if you do that, you're just going to burn yourself out. But once again, I don't follow the comic lore, so maybe there's someone bigger out there possibly in the universe or whatever. But it's like,
Galactus.
Yeah, exactly. So, but when you keep doing that back to back, even if it's a couple of years, dude, MCU can breathe a little bit. They can wait another 5 years until they put out a movie like Eternals. That's just me personally. To throw in a big villain like this, I mean, the individual movies. I'm not saying let's go back to 3 to 4 Marvel movies a year, especially with the shows that we have coming out in between. But calm down a little bit with the world destruction because it burns people out. Then we get more cliches, even thrown in there with people that don't like superhero movies.
Yeah, totally agree. David Joshua, how do you feel about Eternals and the rest of the films being released? Did you get to see Spencer? Because I know it was playing on some online stuff. I saw some people, I think, get to review it.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I didn't.
Okay.
Right. I didn't. But I just quick on Eternals. I think Mac and David said a lot. I guess it's very hard to market type of movie like Denis Villeneuve, like Dune and Blade Runner 2049. I think it's just that's why it probably looks boring, but it does look very beautiful. And the name Chloe Zhao, I guess that's the one thing that I'm gonna that's going to bring me to the theater to watch it. But Spencer, obviously about Princess Diana, Kristen Stewart. I'm kind of biased because I have a huge crush on her, but I think it's. I think the reviews are mostly positive, but obviously everyone's raving about her performance, and it seems like she's going to be in the forefront in major talks for Best Actress of this year.
Yeah, there's a lot I've seen already this year between a lot of strong performances. Towards now, I guess, the end of the year where most of the female performances have been strong. There's only 2 factors that make me interested to see Spencer. One is the director, Pablo Larraín, who did an incredible job with Jackie, and then Stephen Knight, who's I think a fantastic writer who's written like Pawn Sacrifice, Locke, Burn.
Peaky Blinders, right? He's part of that.
Yes, even though Serenity and wasn't, the Matthew McConaughey film and Anne Hathaway, if you guys have seen that wasn't so great. And he did write down the recent movie Lockdown, which was also another Anne Hathaway project. So I don't know how his writing is going to be for this, but I'm going to see it because of those 2 aspects. But hopefully Kristen Stewart can prove me wrong, because I remember it was maybe about a year ago or a while ago where she got the Generation Award for her or for like Best Actress for like Critics Wise or something like that. She got some kind of popular award years and years ago, fairly recently, I think, where she was like named the best best actress, like future actress or something like that. And I was just like,
was it the BAFTA Rising Star Award?
It might have been.
That was a while back, though. That was 2010.
Yeah, no, it wasn't that. It was some type of award, and I was just being amazed. I was like, Kristen Stewart, out of all people, from the Twilight, and now we're seeing her take on all these big projects. I haven't been blown away by anything, really, but
watch Underwater. You'll be blown away by that. No, I'm just kidding.
I'll be.
Just poking fun.
I think if we're gonna go in this route, I think the Twilight star that has great success, I think we've seen the most, is probably Robert Pattinson. Yeah, definitely Taylor Lautner. I would have to say Robert Pattinson, we've seen the best to come from him out of all the Twilight actors, though. But Spencer, I didn't get to mention along that same week, we're getting another movie called The Harder They Fall, which is going to be starring Idris Elba as Zazie Beetz and Regina King. Yeah. It looks pretty cool. It's a Western. A
Western, yeah.
It looks pretty cool. I'm actually.
Is this the one that HBO was marketing a while back on their platform?
No, this is actually going to be released by Netflix.
Yeah.
Oh, was this part of? I got them confused. Like it was like going to be like their weekly thing, right? Remember when Netflix was talking about
one movie
weekly?
every week? Yeah.
Yeah,
and they showed the clip. Okay, I do remember the footage that came out.
Yeah, this is one of them. It looks pretty cool. I'm actually going to watch this one. Out of all the ones that are going to be released in streaming, this is the one I really looking forward to the most out of this month that's going to be released streaming, besides another film, but I feel like it's something that we've seen before with this week that I'm about to mention. The week of November 12th, we're getting another Netflix film called The Red Notice, and I'll tell you why, my thoughts are on that. Belfast, Tick Tick Boom, and Home Sweet Home Alone. With Red Notice, it's Dwayne Johnson, Ryan Reynolds, Gal Gadot, and...
Oh, that Netflix movie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I feel like we've seen like a lot of this stuff before with Ryan Reynolds, so I don't know how too excited I am. I will watch it because I do love Ryan Reynolds, and you know, I'm a sucker for him at just about anything he does. So, I'm also looking forward to that, and then Belfast, and then Tick Tick Boom is actually something that was being filmed where I went to school. So. Cool. Yeah, so some good stuff going to be released that week, aside from Home Alone. But what are you guys looking forward to for that weekend?
Red Notice. It looks fun. It just looks like your run-of-the-mill action Netflix flick. I don't know. I'm not tired of the Ryan Reynolds shtick. I think it. For some reason, I find it charming. And based on the trailers, it looks like a different role for Gal Gadot, though. So that's going to be interesting to see her, because I think she's great, but I don't think she's like the strongest actress out there.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm mostly excited for Belfast, though, the new Kenneth Branagh movie. The trailer was great. I'm getting a lot of Jojo Rabbit vibes from it. As he's been directing, Kenneth Branagh, he's been directing like all these reboots and action and film adaptations. And this looks like a very, he's like returning to form, breaking from that pattern. So it looks, and it won the People's Choice Awards at TIFF. So.
I just heard that. Really? And Mac, Kenneth Branagh can redeem himself after Artemis Fowl.
What do you mean? That movie was the best movie of 2020. But hopefully he does a good job.
We get to see Jamie Dornan sing a little bit. He did sing in the recent whatchamacallit?
Barb and Star, right?
Yes, Barb and Star. I really enjoyed that one. So we get to see him sing again in this. So, but otherwise, we got Lin-Manuel directing with Tick Tick Boom, which is really exciting. We got Andrew Garfield, Alexander Snapp, and Vanessa Hudgens, Bradley Whitford. So this is going to be something I feel like a lot of Broadway people are going to be really, really interested in. Other David, Flixtalk. What are you going to watch that weekend, or are you going to skip that weekend?
Yeah, honestly, a lot of the movies I did not see trailers for, unfortunately. Now I clicked on Belfast because I did not even see this trailer. I need to watch this right now. But Red Notice looked horrible to me. This as far as as far as the cookie cutter, and I love Ryan Reynolds too. Trust me, Deadpool. I just love Ryan Reynolds. For a long, long time, and I feel like he's gotten very, very comfortable with his shtick, but I understand that that's a part of him. That is him, in real life as well. But I feel like he's just gotten to a point where he's like, "Okay, give me the bag, give me the money, show me this, cut a check."
And then also Dwayne Johnson, anything he touches, it turns magic.
Yeah, and I understand that too. But Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson seems exactly the same in every single trailer I see him in. That's another reason why I did not watch Jungle Cruise yet, and we're supposed to be watching that. It's just that I understand they're different characters and they're put in different settings, but the mannerisms are exactly the same.
I know. I feel like we'll never catch him in a drama like a Spencer.
Yeah.
Or like a Belfast. He won't touch any of those because he knows he's like, oh, this won't make money.
And like David Joshua said, the only one that seems a little different or out of place from the usual cookie cutters is Gal Gadot. And I think she's great. She's beautiful. I do like a lot of the movies that she's been in. Out of the DC films, I prefer the Wonder Woman film that she's in, the first one at least. And I think if I were to watch anything, it would be for probably her performance and to see some of the situations they get in. But yeah, it just seems like another weekly Netflix action movie.
I remember them
trending #1 too.
Yeah, I'm sure this is gonna be #1 for quite a bit.
For the weekend, probably.
Alrighties, Mac. Let's talk about November 19th.
Oh God! All right, so November 19th, we got another Ghostbusters film, Ghostbusters Afterlife. We have King Richard, Mothering Sunday, and Bad Luck Banging on or Loony Porn. Wait, what?
What?
Never heard of that one.
Bad Luck Banging or Loony Porn. I gotta click this one. What is this?
I don't think that's coming out in theaters.
I don't know what. Oh no! It says it's a theater film. It says Amy, a school teacher, finds her career and reputation under threat after a personal sex tape is leaked on the internet. Forced to meet the parents demanding her dismissal, Amy refuses to. What is this movie?
This looks like a foreign language film.
It is a foreign language. Yeah.
Oh, it was shown at Berlin.
Wow.
Huh,
Wait,
okay. So that's coming out.
Did we skip over that one movie coming out? I heard it's actually coming out next month. The Titani or
Yeah,
something?
Titan or
Titani,
yeah,
is that what
I was October 1st based on IMDb, but I don't know if
I know it's been shown already, right, at some festivals, but people were telling me that was like, because they were asking me that in the chat last week, and they were like, this is supposed to be like a really crazy movie.
Yeah, because that was the woman who directed Raw, I think. Yep.
Oh, okay.
I didn't see.
That's not getting a theater release over here, right? I'm guessing.
Yeah.
I think it's probably going to VOD, probably.
Yeah, I'm sure of that. But let's see. Going to that weekend, I'm not sure about Mothering Sunday. I didn't hear that until today. But Ghostbusters Afterlife is something I've been excited about for a while. Knowing that it's Jason Reitman, knowing that it's Ivan Reitman taking over for his dad for this, I think it's going to be something really, really smart. It's going to be something really fun. I'm excited for it, given the cast alone. And I love Paul Rudd, and adding to this mix, I think it's going to do really great things as opposed to the 2016 reboot that we got.
Oh my gosh.
Which was just a nightmare.
If I could start it off, because I'm not the biggest Ghostbuster fan, so I'll just kind of keep it short and sweet.
Yeah.
I did grow up on those movies. I liked them, but I never went back and like had the super fandom that a lot of my cinephile friends have and whatnot. But I think if you were to base anything off of some of the original characters for modern day cast, Paul Rudd is probably one of the better bets. Like as far as like it fits like the quirkiness of like what we got in the 80s with those guys, right, from the first and the second ones. Now, including, the son as a director, I think it's great because at least they know the source material, and it's kind of it's a nice, it can be a nice nod to the original, and they're paying homage, I believe, also to the one that passed away. Is it Harold Ramis?
Yes,
he's the one that passed away, right?
Harold Ramis, yeah.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that it does, is a good nod and a good love letter or send off, even if hopefully they don't keep milking this franchise, even if it does well. To the other first two, because I think people are still sour with the 2016 release in their mouth and whatnot. But it does have, of course, you can't help but think Stranger Things when you get a kid cast thrown in here, right? Which I'm fine with if they do it right. That's the only thing. And I think we got just enough in the trailer that it's not too overpowering, and they kind of give it like a Goonies adventure vibe, with the music and whatnot. And I just hope they give it that whole old school feel and not oversaturated, but like over manufactured, I guess, to like cater to today's audiences. They just give it that old good feel, throwback feel.
David Joshua, what do you feel?
I'm kind of interested in what Mac has to say. He's been swaying his head over there.
Man, go off. I know you've been waiting to go off.
I don't care about Ghostbusters anymore. They've ruined this damn franchise. The first one I loved. It's a classic. I went a Stay Puft Marshmallow Man one year for Halloween, one of the best Halloweens. Second one was, it's whatever. Then, for years, we're like, where's Ghostbusters 3? Then they're like, hey, we're going to make this female Ghostbusters. I'm like, okay, that can work. And then the thing with 2016 is that they were planning this whole universe without making the film good. And it wasn't like, it wasn't horrible like other people say, but like my gosh, if it's either two camps, you like that movie or you don't like that movie. If you don't like the movie, you're called sexist. And I'm like, oh, okay. So I still haven't reviewed it for like 5 years now, and when I come around, how badly did you guys screw up business wise that you had to redo it again? Like, no, don't worry. This is a direct sequel to the first one. Like, screw Ghostbusters 2. Actually, this is the third movie you guys wanted. Oh, and then Leslie Jones was like, I think it's BS that you guys have to make a male. So this movie just is such a disaster with everything. It's just like, I don't know. Like David said, it has feels of Stranger Things, and I'm not a fan of Stranger Things, but I do like the Goonies. I'm interested in that, but the trailer, it didn't do anything to capture me. It looks very kind of boring. And Paul Rudd looks like he's going to be carrying this movie.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Well, David Joshua, let's go on to you. What are your thoughts about it?
Like what David said for Flix Talk, I'm not the biggest Ghostbusters fan. Like I do appreciate the movies, and I could definitely see the fandom for it. But this one, like Max said, I'm just gonna probably be only seeing it for Paul Rudd,
Right?
Because he's great. King Richard, about Serena Williams' father.
Mm-hmm.
I think based on the reviews, it just looks like your typical Oscar bait biopic type of. But I guess there are talks about Will Smith's performance, which I'm curious about. So, but yeah.
I think he's really going for that Oscar performance since he didn't get nominated for Concussion. I think this is like his redeeming performance from that. So, I mean...
Tell the truth.
What?
Remember the trailer? He's like, tell the truth.
Oh, yeah. Tell the truth.
Tell the truth.
Yeah, I definitely got vibes from King Richard of The Pursuit of Happiness, like that kind of, performance that we're gonna possibly get from him. Honestly, it's like I think we all pretty much grew up on the Williams like phenomenon, but I guess seeing from behind the scenes of what it took to become that, people got really offended by the way too, because when I first saw that trailer, I reacted to it and I said. I just paused the trailer and I said, I hope we're not getting a Joe Jackson situation from the Jackson 5, because in that situation, it was pretty abusive. And people thought that I knew everything about Richard Williams. Like I didn't know anything about this character. I was just saying, I said, I hope it's not like that. Apparently it's not like that he was able to, have them be strong and be tough for themselves, right? He didn't have to actually abuse them physically or mentally or anything like that. That's what they say. So I'm mainly looking for the performances and probably the nostalgia of just kind of growing up through these times of watching them on TV and whatnot. But it's kind of like, yeah, perfect. Like you said, Oscar Beatty type of film that you're going in for more of the performances and just probably seeing the obstacles that they had to overcome, the Williams sisters and whatnot, getting to where they're eventually. Are they still playing, or are they officially retired?
They are still playing.
Oh, they're still playing.
Fun fact: they actually are executive producers of this film.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
So they had. I'm sure they put their all into this. What?
They made sure they were the producers to make sure that they got everything correct, like they're doing with
definitely.
Like, well, they did. Well, not like with what happened with What's happening with I Love Lucy?
Oh yeah, the I Love Lucy thing. Oh yeah, that's going to be a disaster. I don't know if you guys have been up hearing stuff about that going around.
I think I have heard some little things about it.
Mac, you want to talk about the I Love Lucy situation for a little bit, or now you want
to? We talked about it before, so I'll just kind of give like a quick brief. So Desi Arnaz, I think I'm pronouncing his name right, and Lucille Ball, their daughter they came to set. She came to set just to see how everything was doing, and I don't think they asked her to be a consultant for the film. And she said that there are some scenes, because the movie is going to be about like what a week was like filming the I Love Lucy show. But she said there are some scenes that are just straight up inaccurate, and that's kind of like, oh man, I love Lucy. Like I got my mom the whole box set for Mother's Day, and I've been watching it. Like I love it, so I was like, I hope it's already bad. I don't know. It's already kind of suspect enough. You got Nicole Kidman to play Lucille, which I think Emma Stone would have been better. And maybe
definitely. Like the casting of Javier Bardem.
Desi would have been even better. That was a dream cast, right? Yeah, but Pedro Pascal, I feel like he can pull it off more. It's like he's a little younger, and it can be at least a little younger portrait. portrayal of them, but I don't know. And I know it's an Aaron Sorkin movie, but he does have a tendency to self-indulge a little bit when he makes these movies based on events. So I don't know. It's kind of like we're gonna have to see what happens, like with the first trailer, and that will really be like, okay, some people may see it, and might not see it.
Okay.
I have a quick question because I only posted a couple little articles when this did break, like back, I forget when they started posting like a lot of the behind the scenes pictures and whatnot. And yeah, my whole thing was Nicole Kidman and Javier Bardem. I mean, obviously they're older. Well, is this like the later seasons of I Love Lucy filming? Because they look so much older.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like if I would kind of be more interested in the early rise of the I Love Lucy to get people interested. You know.
Yeah, that would have been better.
Because it would bring people to say, go watch it on, I'm not sure if it's streaming on Paramount or whatever. I'm sure it's streaming somewhere. And like what Max said, he was able to get it for the DVD box set. They sell them all the time,
They could have had Gail Bernal as Desi Arnaz, a young Desi Arnaz or something.
Yeah, I mean, there was a lot that they could do, at least casting a little bit younger, but who knows, maybe it'll be really great. I think, people like myself, like what Mac just said, it's a little skeptical to keep casting Nicole Kidman. It's a very odd choice given how wide range her acting performances have been. I don't know if you guys have been watching 9 Perfect Strangers. I think it's one of her weaker roles.
Yeah,
honestly.
We saw the first couple episodes. It was kind of weird.
Yeah, I'm not enjoying as much as that series anymore. It's really gone downhill, I think, for me. So, yeah. All right, let's move on to the huge Thanksgiving weekend release. There's a lot coming out here. We have the weekend of November 24th, Enchanto, House of Gucci, The Unforgiven, National Champions, Resident Evil, Welcome to the Raccoon City, Bruised, and The Humans. Also released the 26th is Licorice Pizza, but that comes out wide the 25th of December, which is Paul Thomas Anderson and Bradley Cooper. So Bradley Cooper has a big month in December, but a lot of movies coming out that weekend. Again, with Ridley Scott, that I think is really going to top off the box office that weekend because it's got Lady Gaga, Adam Driver, Jared Leto, Salma Hayek, Al Pacino. It's got a really strong cast in that.
Some more Oscar bait for you.
But anything...
I'm sorry. I was going to say that one to me looks the most exciting. And people, another trailer reaction I did, and people were upset that I had no clue about the story of Gucci and what happened, and and sometimes that's the best way, especially if you're going into these movies not knowing as much as possible. I know it was like a huge story when it did happen and whatnot, but I try to know as little as possible with these. But I mean, I don't know if it's is it like a 100% a nonfiction like biopic, or is that what it's going to be, or is it going to be a little bit of fiction in there?
It's going to be based on a book that was written by Sarah Gay Frounden, as the film is set in 1995, and that depicts the events and the aftermath of the murder of Maurizio Gucci.
Okay, so I'm guessing they're going to just stick to the factual things that did happen and maybe characters around that. But I mean, I'm really interested in some of these transformations, especially Jared Leto.
He transforms into anything. Look at what he did with between what he does with, I forgot what film he wore the fat suit for, or gained all that weight for. Do you guys remember when he did that movie where he gained a lot of weight? He was like, because I could picture it, and then besides, Dallas Buyers Club where he lost all the weight, there was another film where he gained a lot of weight, and I can't think of it. And I'm going blank on it. I can picture him as the character, but I'm going blank as the character. The movie. So.
Is it Chapter 7? Yeah.
Yes, 27. That one. So.
Gained 70 pounds.
Yep. So.
That's unhealthy.
Yeah.
Well, it says he ate pizza, pasta, and melted Haagen-Dazs ice cream. Jesus.
Jeez. That's the life, honestly. If you can't gain all that weight, though.
And then he got shredded for Morbius. So
yeah, honestly, where's that movie
that's
now?
not
At this
healthy,
point?
dude. Next year,
I think that one eventually got pushed to January, right?
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
Next
that's
year.
I thought
not
it
a
was
good month.
March. Yeah.
I think
at
it was
this point.
Yeah, that's somewhere next year.
But anyways,
Man, we're not gonna talk about Resident Evil, the freaking
yes,
Welcome to
we're
Raccoon
gonna
City.
talk
Those
about
pictures.
Resident Evil. Matt, go off. Because I know you want to rant about Resident Evil, but we're gonna do it again. Go off.
So the casting and everything, it doesn't look cheap at all.
What did you think of that
God,
franchise? What did you think about that franchise? Because this is supposed to be a soft reboot, right? Or a reboot in
Yeah.
general, I guess.
They're retconning everything that happened in those Paul W.S. Anderson movies. And I don't get people who are like, man, I love Resident Evil, and I think the first one's very accurate to the video games. I'm like, what are you talking about? Like, we must play different games. Like, I swear, like, that Resident Evil movie was not like the video games. And then they got worse and worse. And people are like, the last one they said is the best one. I'm like, man, I must be very out of the loop now if I don't know this. This one, I'm like, okay, the remakes have been good because they remade the second game and they remade the third game recently. And I'm like, okay, you're doing the remakes, like killing it in the video game front. Let's try the movies again. Dude, these photos, they look so cheap. And like the cast don't even look like the people in the video game. They should have just gotten the actors from the video games playing it. And it looks so if I watch this trailer, I might make an angry rant trailer video if this trailer sucks. That's all I'll say.
But also coming out is Bruce, which is a Halle Berry movie. To move on from that subject.
Oh, yeah.
How do you guys feel about Halle Berry directing? Because I'm not sure how I'm gonna feel about her directing. Because I feel like she's been in a lot of misplaced movies lately, and now she's directing. It makes me question everything.
I can't remember the last time I saw a Halle Berry film, if I'm being honest.
I know, it makes me say the same thing, because like I feel like
Call. That's the last one I think I saw. The Call, which is
Call,
like
and there was,
2015,
like,
2016.
a movie where she played like a surfer or something like that. There was that, and that was like a VOD release.
She was in.
I think I got that at Dollar Tree. I'm being serious, dude. Yeah, I don't remember the last time I saw her or anything.
John Wick 3.
All right.
Yeah, she had the
she had
the little
henna
tattoo stuff all over her hand, right? I believe.
She was great in that too, and I can't believe I forgot she was in that.
Wow, isn't that crazy how you just forget it was just like not even that long ago? But
I know, it just shows how much she's done with her career, honestly, in the last few years.
So I will say it's called Bruise.
It's called Bruised.
Okay.
Yeah.
Or Bruised. Okay, so some of the stills I did see, I wasn't too thrilled, but then when I started reading the synopsis a little bit, it elaborated a little bit more on what the film was going to be. It's about something about her son, right? Her relationship with her son, I think they said it was. So it wasn't going to be your typical like just older MMA fight or whatever she's doing, UFC fighter. I think it had something to do with her son as well. There was like a more dynamic to it.
Yes, yeah, that's what I'm reading now. Yes, a disgraced mixed martial arts artist, MMA fighter, Jackie Justice, has to face one of the rising stars of the MMA world and deal with the return of her 6-year-old son, to be the mother he deserves.
It's almost like a Rocky Balboa story, but
pretty much.
Wait, she's gonna be a fighter?
Yep, she's gonna be an MMA fighter.
Oh. God.
So John Wick was pumping her up.
Yeah.
You're not digging that, Mac?
No, like I love, I have a soft spot for her. I do think she's a beautiful woman. I loved her in John Wick 3, but recently you gotta watch. If you haven't seen Kidnapped, you gotta watch that. That movie's funny.
Kidnapped? Is that the Call? Because isn't that the same thing?
No, the Call was when she was in 911. The Call was.
Yeah, she was in 911 Call, but then what the heck is Kidnapped?
She's just she's just the mom with her kid out in the park, and somebody takes her kid, and she chases and get him. She's just on a one mission.
Is that the one where she's chasing after the car or something?
Yep.
Oh, actually, we did see that, and we kind of liked it, even though it doesn't seem like a movie that was that great. We actually we were entertained by it.
That's like the other one that was just released last year, the one with Russell Crowe.
Unhinged.
Oh yeah, Unhinged. I actually really like that Russell Crowe character. Yeah.
I forgot about Kidnapped. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is coming up now. Oh gosh.
So I guess we can say Halle Berry has some forgettable movies recently, huh?
Oh, we're at the last decade.
I'd rather have her have more forgettable movies. I'd rather have her have more forgettable movies than absolute trash that was Catwoman. So I'm glad she's kind of kept low key after all these years. That means like, I know she's fallen off in recent years because like she was like a hot commodity before around like early 2000s, and then Catwoman happened, and then it's kind of been like then Gothica, and then everything has just been downhill.
So she may be going down the Nick Cage route. It seems like maybe.
She could be the VOD queen over here. Well, meanwhile, Nick Cage is the king right there.
Yeah.
Nah, that title's already to Mina Suvari.
Or Bruce Willis. Bruce Willis.
Yeah, Bruce Willis. Yeah.
Or Bruce Willis. Honestly, yeah.
Oh, man.
All right, David, Joshua, what else are you looking forward to that weekend?
Obviously, we've talked about House of Gucci. Really excited for that. Encanto is the Disney animated film. Lin-Manuel Miranda has a huge hand in it. It looks from the trailer looks fine. I just want to talk about The Humans, which is the A24.
I was just going to talk about that too.
Yeah, I did see that, and it's a great film. It takes place obviously Thanksgiving. It's about a family gathering together in a new. Richard Jenkins plays the father, and his daughter recently moved in, so they're having Thanksgiving there, and it's a family drama. But it has.
Can I ask who moves in? Because I know Amy Schumer's in this, so I don't know how I feel about Amy Schumer in the last few years.
Beanie Feldstein, her character, she moves in with Steven Yeun. They're together.
Okay.
And but this is Richard Jenkins' movie, and he's great, and it's a family drama, but it's great. It has a lot of horror elements in it, and it's
horror elements.
That's what I wanted to ask you. Is there going to be like a little twist on that?
Yeah, I was watching, and it some moments you just get that vibe, that atmosphere that the director was able to get. It's really beautiful.
That's really interesting because from the trailer, it doesn't look like horror at all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I'm surprised the trailer didn't do that. It didn't go to that horror route, but yeah, it does.
Interesting. That makes me check it out then.
Since you say that, I wanted to ask: did it remind you of You're Next? Without the
I haven't seen You're Next yet.
Oh.
But I guess if I were to compare it with Shiva Baby, I know it's not necessarily horror, but it gives you that panic. It does something. It gives that twist, that thrilling twist to like a drama.
Speaking of A24, did anyone see Zola?
I did.
I liked it. I liked it.
I thought it was just okay.
I thought it was good. It's not their best, but yeah.
No. I there was definitely could have been some improvements.
Mm-hmm.
I just didn't like how it ended.
Yeah. It was so abrupt.
Yeah, that's one of the things that really caused it, and I was just like, all right, because if you've read the Twitter thread, it feels abrupt how it ends, so I feel like that's why. But I mean, it's not their best film, but it was fine for an afternoon watch when I watched it.
David, Joshua, did you get a chance to check out Lamb?
No, unfortunately, no.
Okay, I'm looking for. I know we kind of glossed over that one.
Oh, right, yeah.
You had to announce that, Kristen. I just didn't get a chance to remember that it came out. That's coming out next month, right? October.
Yeah, that's coming out in October. I forgot about mentioning Lamb, but yeah, we can talk about that for a quick second.
Oh, I just wanted to mention that one looked really interesting to me.
All right, let's finish it up with the rest of the year then. So heading into December 3rd, we have Diary of a Wimpy Kid. That's heading on to
Wait, what?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's heading to Disney Plus. Encounter, which is going to be on Amazon with Riz Ahmed and Octavia Spencer, and then Flea. So not a strong week as to previous other weekends. But there is another film called Wolf going to be released, which is a high concept drama about a boy who believes he is a wolf. That's going to star Lily Rose Depp. But otherwise, not a grand big weekend, but
what do you mean? Diary of a Wimpy Kid's coming out. This is big news. I did not know this. I think I
posted that poster last week that they came out with, and people were so upset in the comments.
I don't get why they're so upset. I haven't seen the live action movies, but they look horrible. And I did read the books. Hey, okay, I know. I haven't seen them. I haven't seen it. I'm just saying they look horrible.
Okay.
I did hear the first one's okay though. But I did read some like the first few books as growing up, and this looks like, obviously I think they're going the animated route, so this looks like more my speed. So I am kind of excited for it, and I don't get the hate. I don't know why everyone's freaking out about it.
I feel like that's the direction how the books are written, and I feel like why not? I feel like this could be like the same route as what they did with Captain Underpants, and that saw great success. They saw it, so maybe I'll have some faith in that.
I love Diary of a Wimpy Kid. I like the first 3 live action movies. The first and second one are the best. Third one, there was a good trilogy like ending. The fourth one, they recast everyone. That was hot garbage, and everyone hated it rightfully. And I was like, man, I think Diary of a Wimpy Kid would work even more better as like an animated series, like Cartoon Network, or like even a animated movie. And I like how they I hope it's in the style of the book, because I kind of like that style for some reason. And shout out to the author being from Massachusetts, so every time they drop a reference, I'm like, I get that.
Okay, we also have Encounter coming out to Amazon, starring Riz Ahmed and Octavia Spencer. The trailer was recently released for that, and it looks okay. It looks like it's got some superhero element, I thought. But I know this was also playing at TIFF, too, and some festivals, so I don't know how I feel about it. It looks okay.
Yeah, I have seen it, and it's okay. I think it missed a lot. It dropped the ball on a lot of stuff. But Riz Ahmed is great, and it's a very nice looking film. But I was pretty disappointed because the trailer really got me. Yeah,
definitely. And then we're gonna move on to anything else. David, anything? No, David. The other David.
I was just wondering. I don't know if it was shown, but The Power of the Dog. I know it's going to be released in theaters in November, and it says it's going to be released on Netflix December 1st. So I don't know.
It's actually going to be showing at a film festival that I usually like to go to. So did you get to see it?
Yeah. It's great. Yeah, Benedict Cumberbatch. I don't know if everyone's thoughts on him, but I think he's a great actor, and he just seems to up himself every time. And I think this is one of his strongest performances. Jane Campion, I haven't seen The Piano yet, but this is a really well-directed movie. It's great. Definitely, I would say confidently it's one of my favorites of the year so far. So
really, I've been hearing some good thoughts about it. It looks really intriguing from the trailer. I liked how subtle it was. It didn't give too much away. It was just enough where I could be like, okay, Benedict Cumberbatch, I'm sold. I really like how he, like you just said, he's continued to improve with his career, and I really liked him a lot, and I knew he was something special after I saw him in whatchamacallit, the Code movie. What's it call it? An Imitation Game. I knew he was something special once I saw him in that, and then with Doctor Strange, and I knew just he can do just about anything. So, but I'm not a diehard like a lot of young women are. I feel like there was the Cumberbatch train a little bit. Yeah. So, Then Mac, let's go on to December 10th. Can you read off some of the films that we have for that?
All right, for December 10th, we got, I just see 2 here. West Side Story, the Steven Spielberg movie, and France.
We also have Don't Look Up. We have A Journal for Jordan. And Action of Violence. So, anything worthy of that weekend that's going to cause some interest. Because I know Don't Look Up will probably be released right around on Netflix around Christmas time. It'll probably be playing in select theaters first. And the trailer was recently released. What did you guys think of the trailer for Don't Look Up?
Didn't catch it. I actually did not catch it. Sorry, guys.
No. Oh, so neither of you didn't see it? No. Okay, Mac, did you see it?
I said no.
Oh, no. So nobody...
No, I've seen it.
Oh, you've seen it. Okay.
It looked fine.
So, yeah, it looks okay. It looks like straight up like we've seen Adam McKay before, but it's got a huge cast in it.
Yeah, no, cast is obviously Timothy kind of brings it down for me.
Yeah, honestly. No. If Timothy brings it down for you, what do you not like about him? Because I'm not crazy about him either.
Oh, I don't know if we but I think he's fine. I just don't think when people claim like he's going to be like the greatest of our generation and he's getting all these lead roles, I just think he doesn't. I think we just need to slow down on him for a little bit.
Oh, definitely.
But yeah, he's very marketable. I get it, but that's just my thing. And and there's just not that voiced on Instagram, so I like to be that voice, hating on him. And
yes, honestly, yeah. That's why I feel like I loved your video, what you did. I'm not a crazy fan here. I don't think he's that great of an actor just yet.
Yeah.
And the only role I really kind of liked him in was Beautiful Boy, but otherwise I didn't really like him in anything else that I've seen. Like, I just thought he was just a normal actor, like a young actor, like, fine, but nothing that I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm going to go check this out him in. But, like, no, he plays Jennifer Lawrence's love interest in that film, which I was very surprised of that pairing, honestly.
Well, I don't know. I'm not the biggest Jennifer Lawrence fan either. Like, I think she's a better actor, but I just think she's very monotone in a lot of her stuff. So I feel like they could work together on that. That's probably why he's no. But
yeah.
It looks all right based on the trailer. I know Adam McKay. He's been doing a lot of kind of like what do you call it? Not necessarily biopics, but real events that happened, political events specifically. And obviously, I think this is more of a fiction where it's just a bunch of people there trying to just warn the government about what's going to happen. I think meteors are going to hit the Earth, and no one's believing them. So
it's definitely speaking to loud terms, especially having Leonardo DiCaprio in it, since it's about like an end of the world film. It feels like a huge comedy just for him to step into, because we don't normally see him take on comedy roots. Like, last time we really seen him take on a comedy was kind of when he did Wolf on Wall Street. So it's going to bring back some of those roots. Maybe he's going to go for another Oscar. I don't know how this is going to feel. Like, I thought it was just okay.
Yeah.
But nothing like Adam McKay's previous work. I love The Big Short, and I really like what he's working on with Succession, because he's one of the producers of that.
Oh my God, Succession season 3.
I'm ready for it. I just finished season 1. I'm just finished watching episode 2. Episode 1 of season 2, and I'm really enjoying it. So I like his touches on that. Because my dad's like, why do they have all these up close shots? I'm like, this is an Adam McKay production. You know what you're getting when you watch an Adam McKay production. But other than that, we gotta talk West Side Story real quick. What Rita Moreno, I can't even say her. Sorry. Rita Moreno returning to star in the film, and Ansel Elgort, who's probably going to be turning a lot of heads with his recent accusations, and also shows the rise of Rachel Zegler with her breakthrough performance, as she will be in this new Shazam film. So, how do you guys feel about all this West Side Story hype? Because it got some good praise from the trailer reaction.
I gave In the Heights a chance, and that was fine. I was like, I'm done for the year.
You want to review it?
Huh?
What about you, David? Or both Davids?
I mean, this is Spielberg. I mean, I'm going to watch this. This is like, even though this is not up my alley as far as, musical, I think the story, people were telling me that because I did react to this initial trailer, the teaser that we got that one night. I forget, it might have been an award show or something. They released it. I forget what it was, but, I'm just intrigued with the subject material. Obviously, it's based off of another film and then a play, and then people were telling me to check out the original film and whatnot. So I don't understand. I'm not sure if what's going to be different. It seems like a very, very modern take, but then again, the attire looks different. So I don't know if they're gonna make this a timepiece and just switch around, certain character looks, or what. But I really don't care about any of that stuff. When people really get mad, like Powerpuff Girls don't look like this, or whatever it is, you know what I'm saying? Like when people get up in arms about certain little minute things, I really don't care. The reason why I want to check this out is because it's Steven Spielberg, and I do like the not really the Grease, but like, did you guys ever grow up on like The Outsiders or like anything like that? We had to read it in school and then watch the movie.
Yeah.
That time period of the 40s and 50s, I really do enjoy. There were simpler times, and I just like that look, that aesthetic, and I just want to see what becomes of this because I really don't know anything about the original play or the movie, so I just want to go in it kind of blindly. But I really am going to be checking this one out. I'm excited.
This is the only film I actually have a soundtrack for that's on vinyl. I don't have any other vinyls, so I'm actually kind of excited to see it, and I'm actually kind of really excited because Marina Marino's returning to a film that really gained her success and got her an Oscar. So some good films coming out that weekend, but then we have a huge weekend, December 17th, with Spider-Man No Way Home, Nightmare Alley, The Lost Daughter, and Swan Song.
Mm-hmm.
So, huge weekend for Guillermo del Toro to be competing with Spider-Man.
Yeah.
I think we all know that's going to be like another neck-and-neck battle for going to take over the throne, but we all know it's going to be Spider-Man for number one. So,
did we talk about Antlers?
We did. No, I mentioned it earlier.
We did not.
Yeah, she mentioned
Oh,
it.
okay.
I mentioned it.
Well, you guys name all the titles. Like I just forget about like the third or fourth film you named after that. But yeah, it's going to be Guillermo del Toro's year, man. I mean, granted with all the pushbacks and delays and whatnot, I still have not seen the new trailer for the little teaser trailer that came out for Nightmare Alley, but I keep hearing good things.
You should do a reaction for it.
I know. I was gonna wait for a full trailer to do it because they usually come out 1 and 2 trailers and whatnot. But what else came out besides Nightmare Alley and the 17th?
We have The Lost Daughter, which is Maggie Gyllenhaal's film with Olivia Colman, Jessie Buckley, Dakota Johnson, Peter Sarsgaard, and Oliver Jackson Cohen, and Ed Harris. And then we also have Swan Song, which is Mahershala Ali, Naomi Harris, Glenn Close, and Awkwafina. So another good weekend with 2 films to be released on in theaters and on Netflix at the same time and Apple TV. So it's going to be a strong weekend, even if nobody wants to go out to the theaters. At least there's people going to have the option of 2 different movies to stream at least. So
solid cast out of all those movies you named.
Yeah, honestly, and Maggie Gyllenhaal was getting praise from her recent film for The Lost Daughter because it is based on the book, and I'm actually interested because I'm a Gyllenhaal fan, so I'm going to be watching it that weekend. So, did you get to see it, Joshua David?
No. But I would have if I had the chance.
Are you a Gyllenhaal fan as well, like my fellow myself? Because I'm a Jake Gyllenhaal fan stan over here.
Yeah, no, obviously I'm a fan of the Gyllenhaals. And this isn't her first feature, I don't think. I think she did like Kindergarten Teacher or something like that before.
Yeah, a lot of people were claiming this is her first film. I'm like, no, there's Kindergarten Teacher.
Yeah.
Is that the one? Sorry, real quick. Is that the one where she kind of takes that kid under her wing and then because he's like talented or something? Is that the one, or am I thinking of a different Maggie Gyllenhaal film that came out recently or last couple of years? You guys know what I'm talking about? It might have been. Yes. I think it was a Netflix thing.
Yeah, it's a Netflix film.
It was almost like a disturbing type of film though, because she takes somebody else's child who is like very talented. I don't know if he's very artistic or what, but she ends up like literally almost kidnapping him, and then she gets in trouble.
Jesus.
But it's not even supposed to be a funny movie. Like, it's actually like serious. And at the end, she ends up getting put in jail because of it. Oh. So I could have sworn that was a Netflix movie, but we watched it and we were just like, "What is this?" Like, it was too realistic. But
yeah, Maggie Gyllenhaal can go down a deep hole of dark themes. I feel like, and especially with this film, I feel like it's a very dark film, given the context and subject matter of it. So I'm looking forward to it. But of course, Spider-Man No Way Home, sold on it, love everything about it, here for it.
It's going to be real sad if this movie gets pushed back. I think that would crush everyone's hopes.
Yeah. I mean, I'm going to be too crushed too bad because then I got Nightmare Alley. I can just worry about that weekend.
Yeah. And by the way, it was Kindergarten Teacher that came out in 2018 on Netflix, yeah.
I got to watch that now. I
knew somebody who worked on that film. So,
it was a good film. It just had a weird premise a little bit, yeah.
Wild story.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, but
No
I'm excited for a lot of these films. No Way Home though is taking my cake though. But Mac, round us out for the end of December 22nd, and because there aren't too few films that are going to be out, I know just pretty much everything else that's probably going to be released will either in select, will probably be pushed out now for the rest of the year. So, you want to read off some of the final films?
All right, so shout out to, we're going to end off on December 22nd, but I'm going to give a shout out to Christmas Day. We are getting Zachary Levi as Kurt Warner in American Underdog. It's about Kurt Warner's journey to the NFL from a grocery store bagger all the way to Super Bowl champion. But on December 26th, it kind of does, yeah. On December 22nd, the weekend, we have Sing 2, A Journal for Jordan, The Kingsman, and The Matrix Resurrections. And recently, The Matrix Resurrections trailer came out, and it looks interesting. It doesn't look bad. It just looks kind of interesting. It looks. What do y'all think about?
For Journal for Jordan, I should mention that that's just going to be. I mentioned that earlier of December 10th, but that's going to be released in select theaters, but it'll be released on Amazon, or it's going to be released some point. But
A Journal for Jordan. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just to say. No, you go ahead. I got something about the Matrix. For Matrix, I guess.
A Journal for Jordan. I saw the trailer. It looked like your like, I wouldn't say formulaic, but it's just like it's about soldier romance and everything like that, and it's directed by Denzel Washington, and it's starring Michael B. Jordan, so it looks fine. Sing 2. I saw the first Sing. It's fine. So I don't know
cute
if I'm
for kids, so I don't think it needs a sequel, but we're getting it.
The Kingsman, I may be a little bit more forgiving for the Kingsman franchise. I do find the fun in those movies. The first one's obviously great. Second one has its flaws, but it had Pedro Pascal, and I love Pedro Pascal. And the Kingsman, it's a prequel. I'd rather would have a sequel, Eggsy's story, but yeah, I hope it's fun at least. The Matrix Resurrections, I enjoyed the teasers more. When you had to click the pills and they show little, and it just had like a serious tone. The trailer when that came out, it again, as Max said, it looked interesting. It kind of dwindled my excitement. It just, I don't know. I'm a little bit more skeptical now. Everyone's talking about like how it just doesn't look like the original films, or how if you've seen the movies, it looks a little inconsistent. So we're curious to see how they're going to continue that story. My big thing, even though it's probably not a huge thing, but he looks like John Wick, and it's like, yes. I wish he shaved and cut his hair for the role. I don't know if it was like, if they're going to go with that look, or is it contractual thing I don't know. I think he filmed John Wick in this
around the same time, yes. Around the same time, yeah. So that probably caused some major rifts with that.
But I can't help it. I know people are like, oh, he's Neo. He's always going to be Neo. But it's like, he's just so synonymous with that look as the John Wick character that I just see John Wick. But I don't know.
I feel like he's more known now as John Wick than Neo, honestly, for this generation. And obviously, the people who grew up in the 90s, like, or late 90s like myself, it's like, oh yeah, I know John, oh my God, John Wick, Keanu Reeves as, Neo in the 90s, but I know today he's just the John Wick and the star that he is, John Wick. Like, I just, like, even what was that, Mac?
Don't forget his classic film, Replicas in 2019.
Oh yeah, Replicas, can't forget Replicas, yep. I don't care for The Matrix, honestly. I like the first one, didn't really care so much.
You.
I don't like the last. I didn't care for the last two. Like I just feel like
was the last good one.
It's really paying off with the cast. I mean, the cast for The Matrix Resurrections. I almost said Resolution. I don't know why, but
it's Resident Evil.
Yeah, honestly. But I don't know if this is going to do really well at the box office. I know it'll do probably really well on HBO Max more than it is theaters.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Anything else, though, to round out the rest of the year? Anybody want to shout out?
Well, I wanted to give my thoughts. I agree with everything that the other David said, pretty much about every other trailer that every other movie that's coming out on that date. I forgot about that Journal for Jordan. I actually saw the trailer in theaters, and I was kind of disappointed in that trailer because it looked very cookie cutter. I know the performances are going to be good. I know Denzel's directing is going to be good. I just wanted to see a little more. Like it was bringing you to that emotional level, but then it just stopped, and they kind of, hopefully when you actually see the movie, it brings you to tears, you know what I mean? And it has those moments. But it doesn't look like anything that's going to blow me away, at least from what I saw. What else we get? Matrix 2. Okay, so Matrix 2. Before Matrix. What else is coming out on that date? You named a couple other movies.
We have a couple then.
Kingsman.
I have bad short-term memory. Sorry. Kingsman. I like that franchise as well. I do think that a prequel is deserved in this time before it gets, before they knocked out like 4 or 5 of them. A prequel I think is deserved. And yeah, it sucks that it kept getting delayed and whatnot. But if you guys have not checked out that Red Band trailer, I'm glad we are getting more gore. We're getting a lot of profanity in this one because it adds to the fun of the first 2. Yeah, the second one was very wacky, but I could appreciate the second one. A lot of people didn't like the second one. But I think this is a movie franchise. If you guys do like the 007s, the Mission Impossibles, like the young spy stuff, I think you guys will have fun with these type of movies. Now, Matrix, that was another one I saw a couple of times, the trailer for, and I just think at first I was really excited when they first announced it, and then once I saw Neo 2.0, I'm sorry, John Wick 2.0, I was like, why would they do this? Like, I understand the obligations to the other movie, but you gotta differentiate the two. Like, I know these are your most 2 iconic characters, but I just that once again sucked me out. Also, the whole soft reboot of everything, that's the only part that has me intrigued a little bit, but at the same time not, because I understand it's like, well, if you guys know about the third one, you guys know kind of how it ends, so they're gonna have to kind of put it in a different direction, and it's like, well, this is all like programs and computers, and it's like, yeah, we can change character casting, and they did it with the Oracle so many times, and it looks like they're doing it with the Oracle in this one. She's a whole different person. So it's like, when it comes to that type of premise, you can literally do it. You can play God. You could change anything you want. And I think we're all just watching it just because of Keanu Reeves. We want to see where this next journey takes them. And I think with the sour taste that we got from the third one, at least for me, I want to see something a little better than the third one. I really enjoyed the second one. I actually really enjoyed the second one. I'm not saying it's like the best sequel ever, obviously, but I didn't think it was as bad as what people made it. But I will be checking that one out in theaters and probably watching it again on HBO Max.
Yeah. And if you think about it, the Wachowskis, they really haven't done anything since the original Matrix. The only good film I liked from them,
the Cloud Atlas movie.
No, I know, but nothing has been as big as the Matrix. The only movie that I'd say I liked that a lot of other people like was Speed Racer.
No, the last big film they did was Jupiter Ascending or Rising, whatever that was, with that really strange performance from whatchamacallit?
Eddie Redmayne.
Yeah.
Kristen, you're making it seem worse. I'm trying to make him good. I'm trying to give him some good credits.
I haven't seen Speed Racer yet, but a lot of people are saying it's actually like an underrated or underappreciated film. So I'm curious to see if I'll, years, and I haven't seen it at all. So I want to see if I'll actually enjoy it.
I'll say this right now for you, just so I think it's the best live action anime adaptation of all.
Oh, there you go. Yeah.
Well, is that I like it because considering the competition with Ghost in the Shell, Dragon Ball Evolution, it's good. That the bar is low, but at least it's good.
It definitely looks great visually. Like, I've seen little bits and pieces of it.
There's only one Wachowski directing this one.
Yeah.
There's only the new Matrix movie. It's only one. Yeah, I don't know why. Did the other sister say why she wasn't directing this one?
She said something about like it just felt wrong to do in this time of her life. Like, she said she feels like she's moved on a bunch. Like, a lot of stuff happened and she's moved on from a lot of her stuff in her life, and to go back and do some basically do another Matrix movie. She just didn't feel like it was she wanted to do it.
To go back to the Irwin brothers film, the American Underdog, the Kurt Warner story. That looks pretty good. I've been reading it and stuff, but it's going to fall under that faith-based films because they have a lot of like faith-based films out between Mom's Night Out, Woodlawn, I can only imagine, and I Still Believe. So who knows? Maybe it might be okay because I Still Believe got some pretty good reviews. But
I cried.
Yeah, I remember when we were talking about that.
Oh, you've seen it?
For the I Still Believe.
I Still Believe? Yeah, I've seen it.
One other mention I want to recognize is Crino, which is the Peter Dinklage and Joe Wright film. There's only one strong review, it looks like, and that's on, I'm seeing that on Metascore, and there's 100% rating that they gave it for at least in the Variety article, but otherwise it just seems like it could be okay. So who knows how it's going to be? It's
Joe Wright, and I think he's probably a hit or miss director for a lot of people. He obviously did Pride and Prejudice, which it's great. It's a musical, and I think the biggest thing that's coming out of this film is Peter Dinklage's performance. They're saying it's his best. It's going to probably be people saying it's his best since Game of Thrones, and then they're really going to campaign for that Oscar bait. But other than that, so much to look forward to in the last 3 months.
I'm waiting for Peter Dinklage as a Toxic Avenger. That's what I'm waiting for.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I would
they just
actually
wrapped that
like
up recently.
I've been reading the news on that, and I like that casting. Isn't Kevin Bacon in that?
Too.
Is it? I forget who else. There's a couple.
I think Kevin Bacon is the villain.
Oh, I gotta look that up now. That's too great.
Oh, I love Kevin Bacon though. Kevin Bacon.
I just thought they recently wrapped it up, but oh no, it says still filming. But I thought I'd see something that said it wrapped it up. Elijah Wood. That's right. Elijah Wood, Jacob Tremblay, and Kevin Bacon. Wow.
Mm-hmm. Got some good
stars in there.
Yeah, honestly. All right, guys, though, that's just going to wrap up our fall movie guide for the rest of the year. So I want to thank Flixtalk, David, for joining in Ultimate Movie Count, David, Joshua Taylor for joining. Thank you guys so much for coming on to our little show and talking about a lot of movies that are going to be released the rest of the year. Hopefully you two can come back either individually or you guys can hopefully team up again maybe and talk some of these movies about them with us. Who knows? Maybe we'll see you at the end of the month when we talk Last Night in Soho or Lost Daughter or something. But thank you. Can you please tell us where all the wonderful folks can find you and what you got coming up for your channel or live stream or whatever festival stuff we can catch you in?
Sure. I'll go first. I'm on Flixtalk. That's Flix Talk on Instagram and Flixtalk Podcast on Twitter. I'm more active on my actual YouTube page, which is youtube.com/Flixtalk. We're on our road to 10K subs, so I'm really hoping that I get that in the next couple of weeks. That'd be awesome if I can get that before Halloween, because Halloween time is October in general is I'm going to be just watching so many horror movies that I have not seen, going back to the old black and white monster movies, Universal Monsters and whatnot. But anyways, on that YouTube page, I do first time movie reactions. I do trailer reactions. I just started getting into music reactions, like songs that I have not caught. And I think I've told you guys this. I used to DJ for about 10 years. I just stopped because of the pandemic and it's gotten really slow. But I wanted to kind of just incorporate music and whatnot back into my channel. And this is kind of a way I can do that on a reactionary tip. So a lot of people are starting to like it. So if you guys do like reactionary content, join my page and subscribe if you guys can on YouTube at Flixtalk.
I just want to. I saw you uploaded your reaction to Friday I'm in Love, The Cure, and I guess you haven't heard any of their songs. I haven't seen the video yet, but just if anyone knows me, that's my favorite band ever. So that's why I'm kind of hesitant to watch it, because if you had a negative reaction, I'd be like, oh no.
Well, let me ask you, what's the Cure song I should check out?
I would. Friday I'm in Love is very. It's one of their obviously it's one of the most popular. It's a very basic pop song, and Robert Smith, he hates a lot of his songs, but he hates this one, obviously. Oh wow! But it's still a fun song. But I would just, for a first timer, either like Pictures of You, the shortened version you could find on the Cure Galore album, or Just Like Heaven, which is it's a beautiful song. And they're just beautiful songs, and obviously you're gonna be listening through headphones, so it's kind of, hopefully you'll be just wowed. But
well, I will just say I gave it a positive review.
Oh, good. Okay, great.
Still go watch it though.
Yeah, no,
yes, please watch it.
I wanted to, yeah. But I obviously I do have a lot of things planned, but just simply you could just find me on Instagram, Ultimate Movie Account, if you're interested. But yeah, thank you for having me, Kristen and Matt.
No problem. Of course. We hope to have you guys back on soon. Next episode, Ted Bundy. Mac and I, we're going to be talking Ted Bundy with Chad Michael Maury and Holland Roden. Till for now, this has been Kristen and Mac. And we'll see you all next time.